Welcome with this present tense, a glimpse in who I am and how I became. First, who are my mother and father? Well, my mother lives in the Netherlands, and back in the early 2000s she was a self-employed travel director, travelling with her customers through large parts of Africa and South America. In South America, more exactly Peru, she meets one of her very many love interests. By the way, she was never married or committed to anyone in any way, so she just fell in love with someone, a local in Peru, and that love was what created their only child, me. I do not have any brothers or sisters at all. When she returned to the Netherlands, she was pregnant. Her delivery was on July 7th, 2004, in a hospital very close to my school. After I was born through C-section, I was placed in an incubator as a very weird bacteria was found in my body. However, it just took days or weeks later when my mother took me back home alone. Only me and my mother. My father never came to the Netherlands, so that means my mother is a single parent. One more thing that is unscripted. By the way, not everyone agrees when your life starts. Some people say your life starts when you were conceived. Some people say your life starts when you are born. This is a very heavy discussion, and it's especially prevalent in abortion. But for now, I'm going to say my early childhood starts when I was born. So that is. So from now on, I'm going to say my life starts when I was born, back on July 7th, 2004. And I was very intelligent and creative for my age back then, already, sort of. Yeah, just a month later, I started learning to walk by myself, including even up and down stairs. By the way, there was a little fence at the top end of the only staircase we have, but it was never closed because it didn't need to be closed. Yeah, and just later, at age 3, perhaps 4, I already started to learn to read. Again, completely by myself. And I did that literally from user manuals for electronic devices, starting with a vacuum cleaner, which also sort of shows how interested I was and still am in technology. And I also drew quite a lot I made quite a lot of drawings, but I was very creative already. And yeah, it was at the age of 4 that my mother has found 2 teachers for homeschooling. I was deemed unfit for any school at the time. I mean any traditional school. There were 2 homeschool teachers, and I also attended a lot of courses, which included music courses, arts and crafts courses, and 2 types of PE. There was a school nearby where I could attend only the PE class, like at normal school, and we also had a yoga course very close as well. There was also still a lot of intrinsic motivation for creativity. There was Lego Duplo, and I even shot my very first photos and videos back then on this very camera that I'm using right now. Yeah, that will be cards, so I'll explain my setup a bit further. We would also travel a lot to the Dutch Northern Islands in holidays, as well as forests in our hometown. And I learned a lot about nature just by looking at it, discovering how everything works back then. And I gained my interest from these experiences. Now to add all of that up, just in that time, somewhere back then, I started up a computer for my very first time by myself, and there was a lot of stuff, interesting stuff on the internet, and I read quite a bit. Yeah, that homeschooling continued until I was in 5th grade, when my mother finally found a school very close to my house, catered to me. It was just 5 minutes of cycling from my house to there, and yeah, that was actually where I had my first crush. It's also a fun part and a not fun part. The fun part is having friends, and my first crush actually I had it in my primary school. But I actually had to learn things I felt I already knew at that time, and I did not like that. But there were still very nice teachers and a lot of fun extracurricular activities. There I discovered Taekwondo, which is a self-defense sport. Before that I just did athletics, and that was around age 12 or something like that. I lost my fun when I discovered Taekwondo. And there was also the occasional programming lesson where I learned the Scratch programming language, an introduction, a very simple programming language that I still know by heart today. I should say, back in the olden days we actually had a big desktop computer, but at the age of around 9, 10, 11 I got my first tablet, on which were a lot of video games, and I also surfed the internet. It started with a yummy piece of shit, which was replaced by another yummy piece of shit, which was replaced by the Iconia B1, which then broke down and had to be replaced by the Samsung Galaxy Tab E that I still have to this day. But for schooling I also need an iPad, but that goes around a bit out of the question. That was of course until 8th grade. At 8th grade in the Netherlands, primary school stops and you go to secondary school. In fact, we do testing like CITO. Yeah, I did CITO, and at so many points I ended up in the highest tier of secondary schools. And right there, there was a lot of choice available, so I had to choose myself. A lot of open days, and I realised to go to a school very close. I can't tell exactly the name of that to anyone but the ones I know. But still, it was a lot of fun with a large class, with a lot of new friends. However, I had to miss all but 2 primary school friends. By the way, I managed to learn the English voice. That was complimented on a lot at school. Didn't come from any schooling, but rather from visits to other countries, as well as of course from the internet, from YouTube videos. When it comes to holidays, there was still a lot of field trips and small travels, holiday travel times, like a day off or a week off. But during summer holiday we always do bicycle holidays, starting in the year 2014, just about 10 years. I do still go on bicycle holidays today again, but one of my favourites was with a school friend that just disappeared without notice very recently. Yeah, it's great. I have to end this part here. Part 2 is all about my life in middle school, where I am right now, on 4th grade secondary school, or middle school as some people call it, or high school, whatever. Secondary school. I really hope to get that done next Wednesday. I hope to see you next time. And I wave you goodbye. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do, please give a thumbs up and share this video with all your friends, and perhaps consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. so from now we'll continue from a born when I'm born. Blooper! It's not at all flat, but it is laid on its back end. Its flat side. I don't know how to